Whoa, look at that light beam that's trying to just stab Elliot in the face.
Yeah, there's always like you always bring God with you to the show, Elliot.
Yeah. Always.
I do always bring God with me because
Do you-
I have him right here.
Right.
Don't feel like watching movies, so I'll watch people guess them instead. I don't know how it goes. I think it starts with your show.
So my dad is currently doing dialysis, and when you do dialysis, they take you from the place that you're at, where
More like dad analysis.
Yeah.
Welcome to Valley Guys.
dialysis.
What's that?
They take him, they put him in a car, and then you go to the dialysis treatment center. And then when you're in the dialysis treatment center, you lay in a bed for like 4 hours doing dialysis, and you're just stuck.
Jesus.
So he's like near the tail end of this, and some nurse comes in, and she's like, "Hey, Marty, I'm going to be leaving, and I've got about 15 minutes left, and I'm just going to talk to you about, have you accepted Jesus into your heart?"
Oh
My
my
My dad
God.
was held prisoner
Oh my
while doing
God.
dialysis.
That's look, I get it. Like if you're a super religious person and you work at a dialysis clinic and you're probably thinking these are people that they're scared.
This is my chance.
But what a shitty,
Yep.
what a sneaky.
So shitty.
It's so shitty and sneaky. It's like, man, we've learned the only way to sit with these people and really praise
Like
the.
you can't even do the look at your watch thing and be like, "I gotta go." Like my dad looked
Right.
at his watch and be like, "Oh, I gotta go," and then he just turn his head to the side.
I think I'd just start shitting myself in my bed and just see what happens.
He told me that, and I was laughing so hard. I was like, "What a shitty thing to do."
Dude,
We,
and knowing your dad, he was probably so nice.
He
and,
was. He
like,
was very nice. He was very nice.
Probably
Oh,
accepted.
really? Oh.
It probably worked. Yeah.
Yeah,
We
no,
have
he's safe
a-
now. He's gonna be great. He's fine. He's fine. He's fine.
We have a, gag where Grace and I laugh about it anytime I will go outside between the house and out here, my outhouse. That I always run into people in the driveway somehow, like anyone who's delivering a package or like someone always. I like
And it's not a high
Face to
traffic
face.
foot area.
It's really not, and we'll get one visitor a day, and I run into him every time. But a couple days ago, I walked out and I saw an old couple slowly sauntering up the driveway, older couple, and one woman wearing a long dress, this guy wearing like a button-down shirt, and I was like, "Oh, here we go!" And it was Jehovah's
They
Witnesses,
say, Joe.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that was really cool. And he said, "You know what he said? He said, I'm here to tell you about a one world government that's about to take over not just this nation, but everything. And that's called the kingdom of heaven."
Great
Oh, God.
opening line, though.
Yeah. I was
That's
like, "Oh, that's
really
great. Thank
good.
you." And then I took the pamphlet and put it in our fridge.
I would have been like, so you're saying that when I die, after years of dealing with our government, I have to go to another place where there's yet another fucking government?
Okay.
What do I do to go to the other place right now?
I don't want to be here already.
I don't want to be here already.
Are there elections? I didn't vote. For that.
Right.
Yeah.
What kind of government are we talking about here?
Yeah, the last election was called the crucifixion.
Yeah.
And I think they chose.
Wait,
It was a
Elliot, how
landslide.
long did you discuss the world with them?
It wasn't long. They, I think, can tell when people are just being polite to them, and I was being very polite, and they didn't waste their time. I did have the passing thought of being like, I could engage with these folks and ask them questions because I really do not understand what Jehovah's Witnesses believe at all.
Yeah,
I get them
same.
confused with Mormons. It's never stuck in my head. I know they're not quite Christian, or Christians are they don't consider Jehovah's Witnesses Christians.
Yeah, and also I had a friend in high school who was Jehovah's Witness, and and we didn't know until she passed away, which was really shocking. We were young, we were way too young, and she
Well,
passed
they don't
away.
do they not, or is that Christian Science? They don't do medicine, right? Or they
Yeah,
try
they
not
don't do medicine and they don't do funerals.
and they don't
They-
birthdays. Yeah,
They don't do holidays. I remember my Jehovah's
What?
Witness in
It's,
school was
it's an enticing.
yeah, his name was Chris. Sorry, they don't do our holidays. are normal holidays. I remember Chris in third grade. This is a time before now when it's you would skew to like include everybody in everything. Like that's what you do now. I remember Chris would get a chair. He would put it. The teacher would put it outside the door in the
What
hall,
the
and Chris would
fuck?
sit in the chair while we would do like our Valentine's Day parties. We would do
No fucking
Yeah.
our house.
way.
Yeah.
He'd just sit
Remember
there in the
stuff like
hall,
that.
just by himself, just staring at the other side of where the jackets are hung.
That's so crazy.
You
Dude,
know?
that's crazy because like what a way to like really push a kid's limits of like feeling like they're gung ho for religion. Because you hear all the kids having so much fun inside, and you're sitting outside in your little chair, and you're like, "Am I doing this right? am I am I content with my life?"
Yeah, they're
It doesn't
thinking
look like
existential real
evil.
quick.
Yeah. My
This
parents
doesn't
swear to me what we're doing is right.
this doesn't seem fun. This isn't good.
Dude, now I understand why they have private schools because they don't want to expose children to things like that and then be like, wait a minute, there's not. Well, I thought Christianity was the only thing.
Well, a lot of those private Christian schools were originally called segregation academies because they didn't want to have to desegregate their schools.
Wow, that's so fucking crazy. I believe that. Is that
Until
true?
1970, when the IRS said that they were going to have to start paying taxes unless they allowed black people into their schools. So they needed to shift the conversation to something in order to galvanize the vote on the right. And so they had to change the subject because they couldn't say desegregation was a losing subject. So they had to go to something else
Make
that we don't need
America
to go
great
into.
again, guys.
Look, everybody, we know we're talking in ignorance right now, and I promise I will read the Wikipedia page more than I am reading right now because I am actually fascinated. But it's a very new religion. It was founded in 1881.
Nice. Yeah, Mormonism too is pretty young, right? Mormonism, I think, was 1800s with John something or other.
John Smith, John Smith,
John Smith. John Smith? Was it
Joseph
Pocahontas?
Smith,
Joseph Smith. Joseph Smith.
John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt.
I was thinking, you guys watching Severance?
No, I
yeah.
haven't seen the
Caught up.
newest yet. Yeah.
You're caught up, Joe.
Yeah.
So I won't spoil anything, but it just makes me keep thinking about like the show really presents to you this idea of this like cult that like is running more than you think, it feels like, and like they live in a place that it's like the whole town is like indoctrinated by this like cult or whatever. And I was thinking like everyone keeps making Scientology parallels and saying like this is very Scientology, they're kind of creepy, mysterious, and it sounds like they're doing like scary shit behind the scenes and shit like that. But then I realized Scientology is like 1970s, right?
Relatively new. Yeah.
Like
Yes.
even new, like 1970s.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, which is crazy. Can you imagine being a part of a religion that was founded in the
1953.
1953? Okay, even that. Imagine being part of a religion that was founded in 1953. Are you like, what did they find out in 1953 that they didn't know before that? Like, how do we? What
You
is
gotta wonder
this?
how many times like you trip and fall into something that becomes a religion. We could be like doing 3 things right now that turn out to be religions.
I know.
Like 20 years, we just don't realize it.
It's so wild because it doesn't matter. Like, you can show as much proof that, like, Scientology was created by a science fiction author, and you could show as much proof that, like, at one point he had a bet with his buddies to see if they could start a religion. And you could show everybody that, but that part doesn't matter if their faith is like, this is real, then it doesn't matter. They could just be like, well, they just discovered this. This just happened in the 70s. That's when our leader discovered this shit. It did exist, but it wasn't discovered until our leader discovered it. And that's such a bizarre thing to just like completely ignore all of the like, the truths and just be like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it was made up. It doesn't matter if it was made up.
I can actually stop you right there. It doesn't matter. We don't care.
I just rewatched The Leftovers with my girlfriend, and that whole show really asks the question of like how would humanity handle a like unavoidable mass event that like something on the and something that would affect the entire world at once.
That
And it's
because like
brilliant.
half of the population disappeared, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, my wife got me coffee.
I know, dude.
Oh.
My girl hooked me up, and I'm like, God bless, amen.
She says outside your office. That's so cool.
Oh, she
Oh,
didn't.
that's so sweet.
Grace's rate's way too high to appear on the Valley cast. Way
Yeah,
too
I
high.
know. I agree.
Mhm.
And we tried,
tried.
but
We
we
tried.
can't. We can't. I was digging through the couch cushions the other day looking for some coins that we could throw
Uh,
towards it, but
We don't even live in a society where there's coins in the couch cushion anymore.
I know it's such an old. It's like when you tell someone to rewind something, and they're like, "What? What do you mean rewind?"
An
Mine's just
action,
dog hair and used
like-
condoms.
a daily action that I would do has like Gen Z and Gen Alpha has no clue, or like I guarantee they'd be like, why would you do that? But like every day, if I passed a telephone or some sort of vending machine, it would be fingers in the coin slot, see what's there, press the coin release
Yeah,
button.
yeah. Anybody?
Dude, it was like winning the lottery.
Yeah, because if I find a quarter in there, I could get a fucking Chewy bar from the snack machine.
Did you guys spend a lot of time with that arm, trying to get that arm up there?
What
get
arm?
snack? When you shove your arm up the
Oh
vending
yeah,
machine?
yeah. And you're
There's
like,
a chain, and you got
Anybody
to
ever been successful? Were you guys ever?
No, there's
I-
just always legends of it happening.
Yeah.
no, but remember when you would like get something and the thing would keep going and you get two things and you're like, oh shit.
Double.
It's
But
the
then it would
best-
make up for the times that you got nothing and it just
Yeah.
stuck there hanging.
Yeah. There's this scene in Little Shop of Horrors, which is like it's like it doesn't need to be in the movie, but towards the end of the movie, Audrey 2 is this gigantic monster, and it's like tendrils are like crawling all around the store and shit, the flower shop. And at one point, it like makes a phone call, and it like picks up a phone with its like vines, and then it like puts a quarter in. It took it from the from the cash register, and then it makes the call. And then when it hangs up, this other tentacle comes in and checks the like coin return to see if there's a coin in there. It's like, why are you doing that? First of all, why are you doing that? You don't need a coin. You're a big monster. And number two, that's such an old thing that no one gets anymore.
It's
like
such a
sometimes
good
sometimes
Love
the
it.
gods would smile on you, and there'd be like, you'd make a phone call and then all the coins would return into the little thing. You'd be like, yeah.
One of my core memories from when I was a child, it's one of my earliest ones. And I don't remember much about this, but we took a vacation to Canada, went up to Calgary. And I just remember we stayed in a hotel and I was walking through one of the hallways. Do you guys remember back in like late 80s, early 90s, there were cigarette vending machines?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Just,
they
like,
still have them in
you could get
Vegas.
them?
They
Why?
have a lot
I
in
do.
Vegas.
I feel like they brought them back in Vegas.
Yeah, and I have you. It's pretty cool. They're pretty cool.
Because it lights up that feeling of being a kid when you're like, oh, a vending machine with like, what do we got in here?
Yeah.
But it's nicotine.
It's
But in
poison.
Vegas, is there a way like to like are they checking
Now I haven't seen one in years,
like
but
a
there
card or
are.
something?
No, they you'd still have to use like cash, I guess, for them. But
So a
now I
kid
think
could do
they're
it.
like, what's up?
So a kid could do it, like a 5-year-old.
Well,
That's a
casinos
good
are
point,
like,
actually. Yeah, I think a kid kind of could do it for sure.
but the casinos are like, they're eagle-eyed, man. They've got like a whole team of people watching the cameras, and like I'm sure that's one of the areas they keep an eye on. And
Now a
they're
lot
like-
of them, now a lot of them are like not. They're empty, but they're still there for decoration. 'Cause people
These
put
things,
their-
they were everywhere.
they were everywhere.
They're in like restaurants and shit. And I just remember,
That's so crazy.
I went up to it and I pressed the thing, the release button, and like I got like $4 fell out. But when you're in Canada, it's like loonies. So it was like I was a goonie getting a loonie.
Yeah.
It was like I was treasure hunting.
The
It was,
blooms.
like you were holding your hands
Yeah,
out,
I was
all
like,
the
I got
coins.
the doubloons. They smell horrible. They smell so bad, but they're so good. Yeah,
That's
dude.
crazy, Joe. I
won the
remember
lotto.
I remember going to like Bob's Big Boy or like, some restaurant, like even like an IHOP or something. And as you go out to pay, they totally had the little like cigarette machines.
And they were always kind of off colored, like somebody had been smoking next to them. Like they
Yeah.
had like wood paneling.
Well, and it's funny because like it wasn't really a time where they were too concerned about like drawing children in, but it still didn't
No, they were
really.
very concerned with drawing children in. It was the hope. They
Yeah,
were
it
going
was.
for it.
That's what I mean. Like they weren't concerned about like making it not look fun for
Do you remember
kids.
Joe Cool and his camel pack?
Oh yeah.
Joe Cool was a fucking cartoon camel that like was a jazz musician, and he had a bunch of other camels that fucking,
Yeah.
and it
Joe,
was not directed towards adults.
But the thing
Joe
is
Cool
like,
actually began as a segregation mascot.
and the
to
IRS
prevent-
said,
the
no, you
IRS actually
cannot.
put a stop in 1990.
Uh,
I remember that like thinking, maybe this was the Catholic upbringing or something, but I remember seeing Joe Camel and being like, well, that's a cartoon character and he's a camel and he's anthropomorphic. He must get up to some antics. Like that looks like a fun guy. He's a cartoon and all the cartoons I watch are fun and they get into fun antics. But I remember thinking because he had the cigarette that this guy must be a pervert, like an asshole pervert, and so I gotta stay away from this guy.
I feel like I have had similar memories of seeing that camel and being like, well, he shouldn't have a cigarette in his mouth.
Yeah, this is a bad boy.
Yeah.
This isn't Bugs Bunny. This is like some gross guy that hangs out in the casino.
yeah, because nobody's ever thought a camel was anything close to cool or sexy. Look at a camel. Camels
Yeah,
are not.
No.
They're like, yeah, they're kind
They're
of
dumb looking animals. They're silly. Silly looking animals.
Put a camel next to a horse, and you're like, what's going on
No,
here?
yeah, you can't take that serious.
I think I hate camels.
I think we hate camels on this
I
show.
think we hate camels. I'm trying to figure out, do you think that there's some like weird origins of Joe Camel? Like I'm looking in the Wikipedia right now and I'm wondering if like does it have something to do with the tobacco or something? Like like did they get the tobacco from India or something or like
Like the name of the company.
yeah, like why is it a camel? Like I know it's Camel cigarettes, but why
Mhm.
Camel? Like where did that come from?
Yeah, when
Don't
they're like,
know.
what is gonna, what
The
should our
Federal
mascot
Trade-
here at Camel be?
The
You guys-
FTC got involved big time.
I'm sure they did. Like your camel needs to have pants. If
First-
cigarettes, fine. Put pants on the camel.
Oh, check this out. In December 1991, the Journal of the American Medical Association, my bad,
Fake news.
published a study in which young children were asked to match brand logos with products. The study showed that among children aged 6, 91.3% matched Joe Camel with cigarettes, nearly the same amount who matched the Disney Channel logo with Mickey Mouse. The researchers concluded that the RJR, at the time operating as RJR Nabisco, it's always been gross, hasn't it, guys?
Let's go.
Was just as effective at reaching children as the Disney Channel. So, man. So, yeah, that's that.
I love that collaboration they did in when Abu turned into a camel for like 2 seconds, and there was that cigarette hanging.
And he spits.
And he's like, everything's stressing me out about this adventure. Can I just need like a I wish there was something.
Dude, wow, that marketing team was fucking slaying.
They're all
They had-
smoking cigarettes. And
Part of their marketing was because they got sued for billions of dollars because they hired other scientists to do, and they paid for them to do studies to find different reasons for cancer that were like genetic or environmental. And so that way in the court, they could go see there's all these other reasons
It's not
that
just
cancer
us.
could be happening.
It's not just us. It's
Mhm.
everything else.
And now the
No.
fossil fuel industry is allegedly doing the same thing.
I think they're all
Also
doing-
goes back to segregation.
what's on that cup there, buddy? What do you got there? That looks like an interesting cup. What do we got?
This was at a Christmas market that
I like
in
that cup.
Prague.
Dang, I love
That
that.
hard to say that without feeling a little like an asshole. But
I got
oh,
this at the
dude,
Christmas market in
I
Prague.
was so disappointed. Joe came over last night.
Mhm.
Brock did great. We're so impressed by him and impressed by Joe. Both of them were just like humping each other.
I'm always
And
impressed by Joe.
yeah,
I only got.
I mean,
They
right?
only sprayed me twice.
Yeah, exactly.
Sprayed
And
you? Oh, right. They sprayed you with like, no, Joe,
Yeah.
no feet on the couch, no feet on the couch.
put your shirt back on.
Yeah.
The
we poop outside. We poop outside.
poop outside,
We poop outside.
but we got this. I don't know if you've seen Steve or heard the news that I got a Creamy swirl.
Creamy swirl.
Ninja Creamy swirl. It's an ice cream maker that also provides.
Oh, I saw it on
soft serve.
your story. Yeah, you got an ice cream maker.
This thing's incredible. So after Joe left last night, quickly I put together my ice cream recipe: orange juice, milk, heavy cream, sugar, vanilla extract. Mix it all together. Throw it in the pint. You have to freeze it for 24 hours, and then later I'm gonna it's gonna shave it into perfect whipped ice cream, and then I'm gonna put it in the soft serve thing, and it's gonna come out. And you can make Dole Whip, gelato, sherbet, anything you could dream of.
Damn.
And is it one of those things where you're like this because this seems relatively new to you this but do you feel like it's one of those things where you're like, oh man, I like a food processor is like, I need a food processor. You can make so many things. You can make a hummus, you can make soup and shit, and then you do it once and you're like,
And
oh,
you
this is
never
way
do.
too much fucking work. It's way too
Yeah.
much fucking work. I don't want
It
this
does sound
shit
like
anymore.
there's more steps than I anticipated with your ice cream maker.
Yeah, because I
There's one
remember
more
as a
step.
kid, you could throw a ball and then you'd open up the chamber and then you'd have ice cream. And that's pretty convenient and easy.
Throw a ball?
Yeah, you remember the it was like a ball with like a chamber inside and you'd put all the ingredients inside and then you just throw the ball back and forth and
Nope. I thought you were telling me you could be playing outside with the ball and it was easy as going inside and taking your ice cream container and opening it. That's
Yeah, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
You guys have never there's like because there's like those ice cream like you
Steve,
can make
I think
ice
you
cream
were
with
being tested with the alien technology.
you guys don't know about this. This is like a kid
Wow.
thing. This is like a kid way to make ice cream. Like
No.
there was like because there's like a science to like the force of like shaking something with the metal chamber and like ice cubes. You guys don't know about this shit?
I mean, I think
You know what I mean?
the way you're making it sound is like a toy that there was a commercial for.
It's like an easy bake oven, but with
Yeah.
an ice cream ball.
Yeah,
Ice cream ball.
like just
Ice cream
type in
ball.
like ice cream ball and it's just like
Get past all the Dippin' Dots sponsored fucking posts, and then you'll get to the science.
Yeah, check it out at jehovahswitness.com. There's this ice cream ball that you can we all
Yeah,
learned
Chris
about.
was always out in the hall just like shaking a ball while we were exchanging Valentines.
Yeah,
Ice
but
cream
just
shake. What?
type in ice cream ball. Man, you guys make me feel crazy. But
Ice
it's
cream
ice-
ball
yeah, ice cream ball
shaker?
maker. Yeah, or shaker or whatever. Yeah.
No,
I don't think I've ever seen this.
there's a blue one. There's a Ben and Jerry's one, I guess.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow, I don't think I've ever seen this, and this looks really great, and honestly, a lot more financially feasible than the hundreds of dollars.
But I feel like it's the same kind of thing. It's like you do it and you're like, okay. Cause dude, even the top comment on
I thought
this
you
Reddit
guys would be a
post-
lot more excited about this.
Cause it is though, right? Like it's like, everyone got an air fryer during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Like everyone's like, gotta get an air fryer. It's like, do you really use it that often anymore?
I will say the swirl function is like pretty gratuitous.
It's
because
nice though. But
it
it's
is
nice
nice.
though.
It is nice. When you want soft serve, it's nice.
Nice. And I bet you got like you can do the lazy thing too, where you can probably like buy some pre-made
You
crap. Yeah.
You can make pre-made crap, turn it into soft serve. You can make Grace makes protein shakes, so like at
that's
night
great.
she's having like a bunch of protein. But
Do you
I'm sorry.
Do you feel like this is
I'm
something-
sorry.
Do you feel like this will be a forever counter space taker upper?
I guess so, because we looked around and I don't think there's any room for it literally anywhere else.
I mean, like, would you replace it? I guess is the question, because there's
What-
only so much counter space. Like my friggin' air fryer never leaving the counter. It's like it's
Yeah.
permanent
Really?
forever. Same
We
with
do
my
put our air fryer away, and it's a biatch to put away.
Yeah.
Instapot. It's a counter spacer for me. Like,
Instapot's a good one too.
so
And
I still haven't
between
jumped on the
Instapot and the air
Instapot.
fryer, I mean, you gotta have that. You have a family. You gotta make those meals in 10 minutes.
Yeah. You're like, we got to get these mini corn dogs out stat. These kids are going
I
to
don't
come in
even-
from playing soccer and they're
Yes,
going to be
chef.
hungry.
Yes,
don't
chef.
do that much. We use it for chicken nuggies and we use it for French fries and reheating some stuff.
Wings.
Taquitos, like some good crap. I use the Instapot more for meals. I'm doing homemade chicken noodle soups these days.
You got
Good
the
stuff.
celery in there.
Mhm.
You got the
Nice.
carrots. What do you put in there? A little bouillon cube, or what do you put in there?
Yeah, depending if like my chicken stock isn't as flavorful, I'll put some bouillon in there, baby. Put some chopped onions, put some corn, put some potatoes that I freaking not always russet either. Sometimes you get those Yukon Gold.
Ooh, damn.
know?
That must
Yukon
be for
Gold.
birthdays.
Yukon Gold is so good in stew.
Wait, so I haven't really jumped on the Instapot thing, and I considered it. I have considered it. And then
Yeah.
there's another thing, sous vide. You guys do that sous vide shit?
I don't know what that is.
Elliot, do you know what sous vide is?
No.
My buddy Jesse really swears by it. It's like you put like meat in a bag, and then you put it into like
Oh.
a steaming thing, and it like cooks it up.
It sounds so gross.
It does sound gross, but it like apparently makes like perfect, delicious,
Steaks. Yeah.
tender steaks. Like, you know,
Like
nice
you're
and
boiling it in a bag or something like that, steam boiling or something, and then it comes out perfect. Yeah.
okay. So, but like, is it really that quick and easy,
Yeah.
Elliot?
Look at watch, and then you put it in.
And then you just make a little pint of ice cream, and that's
Does cleaning it up suck a ball?
whoa.
All dishwasher.
Yeah. That looks
I
good.
mean, I
That
feel
looks
like
good.
you're gonna be really happy in the summer.
Have you made some alcohol mixes yet?
No, I haven't even considered it, Joe. Let me write that down.
Mm.
Boom.
We're gonna go see
Boom.
Harry Potter and the Cursed Child tonight. You guys ever heard of this, Sam?
Where at? Or yeah.
Pantages.
Oh fuck yeah!
Pantages.
Pantages is so
was-
fucking cool.
I know it was one of those things where I was like, I gotta plan a date. I was like, yeah, you know, you ever had that thought where you're like,
Yeah,
ooh,
yeah.
I'm hitting into the red zone of not having planned a date for a second.
Yeah.
Got to get ahead of that.
Too bad she hates musicals.
Yeah. Oh, was it
Do
a
they-
musical? Well,
Do they?
we'll leave it intermission like we did a Whiplash.
Do they let
It's okay.
do they let trans people come into the theater?
Oh, I didn't even think about that whole side. I forgot about that.
Do they, Elliot?
Wouldn't it be funny if after making it like talking about segregation over and over again, I went to a show that didn't allow?
It's okay, man. I would go see it. I almost went to
I
go see it in
forgot.
San Francisco.
I don't think she.
Whatever, man. Whatever.
That's
Listen,
why tickets were.
my
available.
family loves it. I had to so like my sister-in-law loves Harry Potter. And she's been having the kids read the books, and this is recently. And we were like at Thanksgiving or some shit, and I was like, I made some remarks about J.K. Rowling, and my brother like took me aside, and he's like, "Yeah, we're not talking about that here when we talk about Harry Potter." And I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, we're not gonna go there." I'm like, "All right."
So we're not doing that. That thing you just did. We don't.
We're
actually.
not going there. And I'm like, okay, just let people enjoy what they want to enjoy or whatever,
Yeah, it's like, and also
We can't pick. We can't just be scared. We can't stop watching things. We have to remove the art from the artist. Artist from the art.
well, it also depends. Only if it's something that I like.
Exactly. I totally like the system I have where it's like however much you believe that they're a terrible person is the percentage of their like work
That you're
you
allowed to
can
watch.
Yeah. So like
I can only watch Harry
I think
Potter
there's like
up to Order of the Phoenix.
right. if Michael Jackson, I think, is like 5% chance maybe he's innocent, then I can listen to 5% of his
I
discography.
know. I just had to like let it go and like kind of just because the music's fucking timeless and incredible, and you know. And we were
Sometimes you gotta
talking about
open
that.
that box in your brain and put the stuff in there and then close it and then
Well, the new one
Yeah.
is Neil Gaiman.
Oh
Gaiman.
my
yeah.
God.
What does that
Like,
even leave?
But the Neil Gaiman stuff is crazy.
but do you get to read Sandman anymore?
Or watch Coraline.
Yeah.
Dude,
The
that,
thing is like, I told you guys I watched that Ren and Stimpy documentary where they were like, they were talking about all the creation of the show, and John Kay was mentioned, and then at the end of the show, then they gave you the whole like John Kay was a pest and was inappropriate with people in his crew, and just really awful shit.
On Ren and Stimpy, who would have thought?
The cleanest, nicest cartoon that existed at the time that wasn't perverse and didn't push like gross boundaries for children. And so, but anyway, at one point, the one of the artists was like, "Listen, don't let the actions of one person ruin the fact that there are all these artists that like put their heart and soul into making this thing. And what you love about it isn't just because of this gross guy. You love it because there were people that were really passionate about doing this kind of shit behind the scenes, and so focus on that part of it." So I truly think about that when I think about like Harry Potter and shit like that. Like when people were playing the video game or the video game came out and everyone was like, "No, don't buy that fucking video game because JK will get money or whatever." And then but I couldn't help but think about the people that worked on the fucking game that put all the hours and time and energy into it to make like a fun game. And it's like, I don't know, man. We're coming into dark times where we have to like really ignore.
So is the rule don't read the books, but you can play the game and watch
I don't know anymore.
Just whatever makes you feel better about,
yeah.
Who cares? Well, you want to be an ally, or do you want to enjoy what you want to enjoy?
Yeah, life is too short,
You can only do one or the other.
You can only do one.
Yeah, exactly. There's no gray area ever in anything. It's just black or white.
I do love do you see the meme that goes around? People go, "It's not my job to educate you." I like saying that now. I say that to Grace a lot. It's not my job to educate you.
So demeaning.
Well, it's like when remember in the SourceFed office, we used to be so like snarky when someone would be like, "Oh, what year did Pocahontas come out?" And someone would be like, Google. Google's when it came out.
And we were all constantly just sitting in front of computers.
Right.
Like, always. I think a lot of my memories from that time are more in the writer's room, in those dark writer's room in front of a computer typing, as opposed to being in front, like in the white room shooting.
Oh, yeah. Those are all blacked
because that's
out.
where we could like play.
And then the cave is what I remember.
I remember the space heaters because it was so effing cold and
freezing.
I remember crawling under the desk too many times, like, and being under there a lot with like Bowman and
I know. And Phil just made you do that. And it was
he'd be like, "Now you go down there, and we'll see how you like working down there."
Now you go down there.
But I don't want to. Yeah, you're gonna go down there, or you're not coming in tomorrow.
Proof.
Anyway.
All real.
I'm excited about you and your ice cream machine, Elliot. I hope that you enjoy it. I hope it's a lot of fun, and I hope you think about the ball that you can throw around and make ice cream in too.
I will. I'm looking at it right now. Still, I've never seen this in my life.
Joe, I'm surprised you with kids had never seen it or heard about it. Like, I feel like this is like Bill Nye the Science Guy shit.
Nope, never. Mm-mm.
I didn't let my kids have ice cream.
I don't have counter space right now. We got an espresso machine that I bought for my wife so she would stop buying Starbucks, and she's used it twice and still buys Starbucks.
Dude, I've been doing literally like the fucking drip coffee machine, like $9 Target coffee machine coffee.
Yeah. That's the best.
And I love it. It's easy, and it totally, like, I've never understood the whole like, well, it doesn't taste like Starbucks kind of thing, or it doesn't
taste like shit.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess.
Wait, Steve, are you now like a pot a day boy?
Oh yeah, man. Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm in the fold.
Wow, you're in the
Welcome.
Folgers.
I'm in the Folgers.
Wait,
Yeah,
back
thanks,
to
man.
camels. Back to camels.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the camel or dromedary doula sack?
Yes, let's move on.
I would love for you to. I would
What is
love for you
that?
to. I would love for you to look up dromedary doula sack and play that because I want to teach you
How
guys
do you spell
how. I want to
What?
teach you
Is this
how
a bit?
dromedary? Dramaderi?
Rom
Drom. Dromedary.
and then doula Dulla. And then I would love for you to play that video for everybody. And I'm going to teach you guys how they mating call one another.
Dromedary doula.
Doula sack.
Oblongata.
I think I think one time I bought a Star Wars character and it came with the dromedary doula sack.
Dromedary
bag.
oblongata.
Where do I and then I type
On
in
the YouTube.
sound or
On the
something?
YouTube. Just go to YouTube and put in dromedary.
Oh, into YouTube. Okay.
Or even just put camel, doula sack. They're not the same thing, but people confuse them.
Okay, hang on. And then you want me to share the screen?
You should share the screen because I would love
Okay.
to fascinate you guys.
And then
together.
we have to talk about the Eagles too, because I think that's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's so funny. We were watching the Eagles last night.
Okay, hang on now. Let me share my screen and then you can kind of show me where I should be.
Let's see here. Okay, let's just go Camel's Love Sack. I should probably do it.
This top one.
Yeah.
Okay.
We might have to find the specific part.
Oh yeah. This is great.
Australia.
Oh, there's a
the
calming
driest
voice.
inhabited continent on Earth, with
Okay, you have to
almost
probably,
1 million
skip
square
forward.
miles of desert.
That
France, where water is almost impossible
Edinburgh?
to
That's
find.
probably Edinburgh.
Yeah, that's got to be Attenborough.
All right, show us that doula, baby. Where you at?
And he has a special way of doing so,
This is how cigarettes are made.
with a doula.
A doula.
Jesus Christ.
This inflatable
There you go.
sack is unique to camels, and accompanied by loud gurgling,
That's the actual
is his way
sound?
of attracting
Yeah.
females.
It attracts females?
Yeah, dude.
I was born in the wrong species. I am not the right species.
Isn't that great? There we go. We learned something.
It's kind of funny. Like a camel is so weird looking already that you're like, I wonder if it does anything weird. And it's like, yeah, it does.
Very funny.
If dogs did that, I don't think we'd love them as much. It's like, I feel like dogs, the reason why we have dogs and cats in our home is because they do the least grossest things.
Humans would 100% stop letting them kiss them on the mouth constantly. Give me
So there's no biological function to that other than it draws in males.
I cannot answer that part of the question with 100% certainty. I do not know. I'm sure it does something else.
I would love to know the evolution, the process of natural selection by which that mutation was like, yeah, that's staying.
Right, because
Those genes are getting passed on.
Yeah, were the camels were they nearly extinct because they couldn't find a mate or something? They couldn't make the the reproduction process work, and then one day some camel just fucking vomits out its stomach, and all the girls are like, okay, now we're talking.
Maybe there's something to it looking like a nut sack. I don't know. Oh, look at that.
Interesting.
No, but they're big.
This guy's doula sack this guy's doula sack is looks like it's ripe for reproduction.
Good Lord.
This says that scientists have been able to observe that in periods of serious drought, the dromedary camel would fill this pouch with your mom's titty juice. I just what this says 3 years ago on Reddit.
Oh man, that's good. That's
okay.
good.
So it is just a camel thing, and it looks like it is exactly just for reproduction. It says the male dromedary camel has an organ called a dula in its throat. So that's where, because I was wondering too, where's this thing coming from?
Just kicking it in the throat.
It's just in the throat. It's a large inflatable sac that he extrudes from his mouth when in rut. Is that like in heat or something? It's a mating season. Yeah. To assert dominance and attract females. Sorry. It resembles a long, swollen pink tongue. We saw that.
Did not resemble a tongue. Nope. That's incorrect. Change that, please, Wiki.
It says here, camels mate by having both male and female sitting on the ground with the male mounting from behind. And the male usually ejaculates 3 or 4 times within a single mating session.
Good God. Good job.
Familiar.
Good go.
Great job, guys. These guys should get into the industry.
You know what's so funny about it? It's so off-putting because it's not symmetrical. You think about animals and think about like birds and they're like flapping their like a peacock. It's just perfectly like both sides. It's pretty, but this thing is falling out of the mouth one side.
This alien, like slug is falling out of its mouth. It's really
great. You've seen the camels eating the like cactus things, right? The cactus needles and stuff. Like,
oh yeah.
That blows my mind, man.
But then if you give them another thing, what was it? Oh, it's like a fruit. If you give them another fruit, they'll freak the fuck out.
Really? What do you mean? Like it scares them or something?
It's just like they are repulsed by it. So I saw a video where a guy was like cactus, 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 and then it was like lemon or strawberry or something like that. Freak the fuck out.
Whoa.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad that we don't have camels here. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Yet.
I have a friend whose dad
with these open borders. I mean,
they could just crawl right in and rub their doula all over my Starbucks.
It'd be easier for them to crawl through the eye of a needle than for a rich person to probably go to heaven. You know what
I mean?
We did it.
All right. Well, what was there something else we were going to talk about?
Eagles are cool.
The Eagles.
We'll talk next week about the alien bodies drama that
I read something that said that they were proven to be real now. Is that like?
Yeah, it's on Daily Mail.
Okay, well that's all I need to know about that.
Daily Mail, the source for at least 14% of all source-fed stories.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I don't think we knew at the time that they actually, Daily Mail, fun fact, got their start as Nazi, supporting Nazis.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
This has been fun fact podcast.
That's the thing. It's like the further back you dig into shit, the worse it gets about where it came from.
That's Steve teaching a biology class.
Hey guys, so we're gonna decide whether we want to go back or not, and if we don't, we'll just go forward, and we'll just keep, we'll just.
What's the rule on if you're allowed to enjoy art? Like, how far back do you have to go before its origins don't matter?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I don't watch movies. I just look at images of cave drawings.
Except for that one guy. He was a fucking
some guy who was an asshole in the
We do not enjoy Ug's art.
Oh man.
Ug's.
All right. Well, and then you guys, I'm assuming you guys haven't watched Common Side Effects yet. It's
Dude, I have.
I tried to.
Love it.
Yeah.
Got my brother in on it. I am not fully up to date, but I've watched most of the episodes.
Isn't it fucking incredible?
I love it. It's so much fun to watch.
Rewatched Scavenger Rain 2 days ago from start to finish in a night.
And you watched that all the way through before?
It is one of my favorite things that's ever been created.
I think so too, man. It's like one of the best modern sci-fi stories.
You watched that, right, Elliot?
No, I haven't watched it. I'm watching Steve did recommend, I think it was a good move to start with. With Common Side Effects, but I will go back to that. When I was telling my brother about Common Side Effects, I was like trying to explain it, and he was like, "Well, I really like this show called Scavenger," right? And I was like, "That's the same people." And then he texted later, he's like, "The show's awesome." I was like, "Great."
Oh, I'm so excited to watch it. I'm so excited,
dude. The
plot is just perfect. The plot's perfect. Like, how has this plot not happened?
I know, and not only is it perfect plot, it's like the way that they tell the story and the way that they show visually represent
Yeah.
things.
Yep.
And just like there's a scene where like I don't want to ruin it because it's so perfect, but there's a scene in the first episode where you meet these detectives, and it's just like the introduction of those detectives is like one of the best pieces of animation I've seen in like ever.
I don't remember what it was.
It has something to do with, maybe this will jog your memory, Elliot. It has something to do with that shake, shake, shake.
Oh
Senora.
yeah.
That. Just the animation of yeah.
Oh, guys, I'm gonna watch it right after this.
Please watch it, Joe. I'm so
can blow
excited
through
for
it,
you guys to see it because it's just really cool. It's really cool that you can just like make a thing and know that it probably won't be very popular and still, but still put it out in the world.
Dude,
like Mickey 17.
My fingers are crossed that because it's on Netflix now, Scavenger Rain, and I'm hoping like the numbers justify at some point Netflix does their like Netflix thing, and they're like,
Dude, that'd be so cool.
Season. Do it.
I know, because they keep bringing back like Family Guy and fucking Futurama and shit. And I fucking like, listen, Futurama's great, but like, do we need to keep bringing it back? Like, there's like 80 episodes that are really good. But anyway, yeah, it would be cool if they would bring it back like that.
Yeah.
I did get to watch a film called The Shining, which I've never seen. Grace and I watched it.
Huh. And
so I really, really liked it, actually. And so did Grace. And we were both kind of surprised that we both liked it. And I'm currently making my way on the audio version of Dr. Sleep, the sequel, but I haven't read The Shining. So I was like, oh, I'll just watch The Shining. Apparently it differs quite a bit from the book, but I'm excited to watch Dr. Sleep after I finish reading the book or listening to the book.
Okay.
Stephen King hates the Shining movie, but Stephen King loves Dr. Sleep movie.
Oh, really? Good to know. Okay.
And cool. I will say Dr. Sleep movie is Mike Flanagan, which I'm sure we've talked about. And but I watched the director's cut of that movie, and I've heard that is the superior version of that movie, and in my opinion, I believe it is as well. So
cool. I'll do that.
I think you should watch the director's cut.
The book is like really great. That I'm like just wanting to get through because it's read by Will Patton. Do you know who that is?
No.
Yes, Will Patton.
He was in Armageddon. If you would know him, he's like a character actor. He was in Silo. More recently,
Will Patton was also in he's the other coach in
Remember the Titans.
Oh, he's great. This guy's great.
His voiceover, like reading narration thing with all the different voices he does, is incredible. If you're
and I think that the story of Dr. Sleep too is like, wow, what a great, well, like if you were ever going to make a sequel to The Shining, this is probably the way to do it.
Yep.
Speaking of Stephen King, The Monkey.
Final thoughts.
The Monkey, that movie, The Monkey. Mm-hmm. It's based off of a Stephen King short called Monkey Shines.
Yep. Yeah, remake kind of sorts of the former movie Monkey Shines.
That's right. And I really enjoyed it. If you guys like the Final Destination movies, it's very Final Destination coded.
Say no more. Say no more.
Yeah, that's all I'll say.
Monkey Shines was one of those like VHS covers that scared the shit out of me as a kid.
Yeah. That's an experience we just won't have anymore. Of like walking through the video store and being scared by a cover of a movie.
Oh, I thought you were joking. So it is a movie based on an old movie based on a short story.
Yeah.
Yep.
Neat.
And it. Kind of a fun fact, I guess. The guy that directed it, Osgood Perkins, is the son of Anthony Perkins, who was the guy in Psycho. He was Norman Bates in Psycho.
That's wild.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow, yeah.
And he also directed Longlegs, which I didn't love so much.
But everybody else did.
But everybody else did, because they love Nicolas Cage and he can do no wrong to them.
Okay, bye.
Well, it's great to have you guys back, actually. I'm glad you guys are back.
Dead silent.
I'm glad you're back. And,
thanks for holding down the fort, Steve.
Yeah, man. I had a lot of fun, actually. And the last episode was pretty fun with me and Ralph and Owen. And then, it's been a good time. And everybody loves it when we do those Quiplash ones. That was a lot of fun.
Hell yeah.
But I'm glad you guys are back, and I missed you guys both, and I'm glad you're doing well. And
Why don't you come to Burbank sometime or something, and we can maybe.
I would love that. I would love it. We could get a drink or get a bite to eat or something. That's the way to
Far
do
away.
it.
You're so far away now.
I
I
can bring you some
know.
ice cream.
And you guys, and obviously you guys are always invited to come out and just have a nice day on the beach too.
Ugh, God, sounds exhausting. Ugh.
We got the